What is your twin flame really showing you? I'm Breann, Master Certified Ascension Coach with Twin Flames Universe. What do I mean by what is your twin flame actually showing you? We've heard this time and time again, whether you're new or you're not so new to the twin flame journey. The foundational component is your twin flame is you in another body. They are you. You share the same consciousness. And in that, your twin flame is your divine mirror. And that means that they reflect back to you, and you do for them as well. You both reflect back to one another what is in your shared consciousness. And you're going to reflect the love just as much as you're going to reflect what is not of love. And it's that part of what is not love that can get a bit sticky because that's where the inner growth and the healing is required. And without the proper tools or the proper knowledge or understanding how to navigate that dynamic, it can feel like a uncomfortable and maybe even a toxic situation. So what I'm going to share with you is for the purposes of helping you to maybe identify what it is that your twin flame might be showing you so that you can resolve it in your union and get that deeper peace and romance that you so desire. In my experience in my union and almost everyone else that I've talked to, a lot of the things that my twin flame shows me stems from my childhood. That means a lot of the triggers and a lot of the upsets that arise in my harmonious union are because it's reflecting back to me where in my childhood I experienced a hurt or an upset or a wound. For example, let's say if I felt abandonment as a child, my twin flame is going to reflect back that abandonment. And it doesn't always mean that they're going to act that out and that they're going to actually abandon you, but something that they're doing might trigger that fear of abandonment. And that doesn't mean that they're going to actually abandon you. It just means that something is getting acted out or something is being triggered in your consciousness so that you can go back into that moment where you were a child or maybe a younger, somewhere in your life, some point in your life, you might have experienced this in another way. And until that part of our consciousness is healed and love is brought there, we're going to continue to manifest it. It's going to continue to repeat. And fear of abandonment was actually one of the biggest things that I needed to heal prior to coming into Harmonious Twin Flame Union. I was just fearful that I would just get left behind, that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't deserving of my one true love. And so this was consistently mirrored in my reality by my twin flame and by other people too, but mainly my twin flame, until I fully resolved it within myself. And you'd be surprised at all of the things that your twin flame can trigger you. And it can be the smallest to the biggest upsets, but regardless of how big it feels in your mind, it's important that you look at it and you love yourself. And so a great exercise that you could do here is if you find that your twin flame's mirroring a lot of things to you and you're struggling with the mirror exercise, as you get clear and refine yourself and master the mirror exercise for yourself, something that you can do, which, very much helped me in the beginning, was journaling. I would sit down and I would write my thoughts and my feelings out on paper, put it in a journal book, and I would simply just reflect on the feeling that was coming up. You just look at the feeling. What is your twin flame showing you right now that doesn't feel good? What feels uncomfortable? And you just can't seem to get entirely clear on what it is that they're showing you. Write it down. Write out all of your feelings, and get it like respect and honor how you feel completely. Like it's okay if you're angry. It's okay if you're upset. It's okay if you feel deeply hurt, because acknowledging that anger and that hurt is not going to increase or fuel separation. That's what the ego will tell you. The ego says that if you look at this, if you acknowledge that you're hurting and that you're upset, then you're going to fuel that separation. That's a lie. And ego's purpose is to keep you separate from your twin flame. But if you actually look at that hurt and you feel your feelings about it and you acknowledge what doesn't feel good, that's a massive step forward in resolving this completely in your union. And you're going to find a lot of relief through the process of that. And you might find that whatever you write down, it's going to take you back in time. Maybe there was a recent moment or even something years back where you're like, wow, okay, so this is happening in my twin flame union. And I can see how it's related to this that happened when I was a child, or maybe it could even be something just recently. But even that something recently, you might find that it takes you back into a early on experience. And as you find those places, the next step that you want to do is, if you feel comfortable with doing the mirror exercise, absolutely use the mirror exercise. And if you're new to my channel and you don't know what that is, I will share a link to the mirror exercise in the description box below. Essentially, it's a 4-step spiritual tool that I've used that was taught by Twin Flames Universe, and it helped me to heal separation completely from my twin flame and manifest harmonious union. And so I highly recommend applying that mirror exercise. If you don't feel comfortable yet with using it, just start with your feelings, just start with the journaling. And as you write down what doesn't feel good, just let yourself process those feelings and just choose to love yourself there. And what I mean when I say choose to love yourself, it just means be with the feeling. Like, let's say there's an example here, okay? Let's say you're walking, and let's envision that your inner child is walking next to you. Say they're 4, 5, 6 years old, whatever age your inner child comes to you, and you're holding their hand, and maybe they trip and they fall on the sidewalk and they skin their knee. Well, most children, when that happens, they're going to cry. That's going to, feel very painful. Well, what would you do? Well, in my case, if that was me, I would get down on my knee and I would support my inner child, just like if there was any other little child or person that was there with me. I would, I would have compassion and I would be there for them. Like, oh, I see, you hurt yourself. There's an accident, a misstep here. How are you feeling? Right. However, you would just be there for them, right? You would be there for yourself and console yourself, love yourself, have compassion for yourself. What does your heart need? Maybe it just needs presence. Maybe you just need attention. Just be with yourself. It doesn't require anything to just be present with yourself, to be present with that part of you that's experiencing that hurt. And as you do that, you're going to find that the hurt passes by. You're going to find that you are relieved of it and you move into a place of peace and happiness, and you can choose to move through it, right? Intentions are everything. You don't want to stay in that space. The purpose is to move through it. So move through it into a good feeling by choosing that good feeling, right? Like with your inner child, going back to that example of they fell, tripped, and hurt their knee. Well, what are you going to do? Maybe you give them a hug. Maybe you walk them back, to the house, to the car, and you put a Band-Aid on it and you just talk to them about how they're feeling about it. Do that for yourself. Be that for yourself. You literally cannot love another truly, especially your twin flame, if you're not loving yourself truly. And so in any way that you would love another, you want to ensure that you're giving that to yourself, because the relationship with yourself is most important here. And that's not a selfish thing. That's what the world will tell you, is that selfish. How can you truly love someone else in a divine way if you're not truly loving yourself in a divine way? Like, that's basic logic. You can't do and be something if you're not doing and being that something for yourself. Take a second. If you are struggling with your feelings, you're struggling with the mirror exercise, you're not really understanding what your twin flame is showing you, take this exercise, try it on for size, see how it feels, with the intentions of moving into complete and total healing. And if you desire support, there's always support available to you. All of my information is always available in the description box below. Just reach out and we will get you set up and get you moving forward into your harmonious twin flame union. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.